It started like nothing. A lazy Sunday morning, sunlight pouring through the blinds, and the sound of waves crashing beyond our balcony. We were in Malibu for the weekend, our first getaway in months. I thought it might fix things between us. The distance, the awkward silences, the half-smiles that used to be full of warmth. Her name's Maya, my wife of 7 years. She was stretched out on the lounge chair, scrolling through her phone while wearing that green swimsuit she knew I loved. I was inside making coffee when I heard laughter, the kind that makes you stop mid-step. When I walked out, I saw her holding her phone toward the camera, smiling. The guy next door, a tall man with abs sculpted by obsession, stood beside her holding a bottle of sunscreen. "Hey," she said, grinning. "He offered me some sunscreen since you were busy." I raised an eyebrow. "You couldn't wait 2 minutes?" She laughed, rolling her eyes. "It's just sunscreen, don't be jealous." That word, jealous, hit differently. She said it like it was a joke, but there was a sting behind it. I didn't argue. I just nodded, sipping my coffee, pretending her words didn't echo in my head. The rest of the morning she acted like nothing happened. Chatting with him again, laughing too loudly, touching her hair too often. Maybe it was innocent. Maybe it wasn't. But after 7 years, you start to recognize the tone a woman uses when she wants to be noticed by someone who isn't her husband. That evening we went to dinner at a beachfront restaurant. She was radiant and restless, checking her phone, smiling at messages she didn't share. When I asked who it was, she said, "Just the group chat with friends." I smiled back and said nothing. But when she went to the restroom, her phone lit up. I didn't touch it, didn't need to. The preview said enough. "See you later tonight," winking face. When she came back, I was calm, even affectionate. I told her I'd planned a surprise for later. She lit up like a kid. She had no idea that, by the end of the night, she'd be the one who couldn't look me in the eye again. After dinner, she wanted to walk by the beach. The moon high, the ocean whispering like it knew something she didn't. She slipped her arm around mine, pretending everything was normal. I played along, smiling, asking about her work, about her new coworkers, about Daniel, the one whose name had been popping up a little too often lately. She hesitated before answering, then forced a laugh. "Oh, come on, you're not still suspicious, are you?" "He's married." "Relax." "Married?" I repeated softly, kicking the sand beneath my feet. "Yeah, I'm sure that means a lot these days." She frowned, but before she could reply, her phone buzzed again. She checked it quickly, her expression changing for just a second. A flash of guilt she tried to bury behind a smirk. "Work thing," she said, tucking it away. "Of course," I murmured. We headed back to the resort. She went to take a shower, humming in that light, careless tone people use when they want to act innocent. While she was inside, I opened the balcony door and looked out across the row of villas. A few lights flickered on the far side, one of them Daniel's. I knew because I'd checked earlier. My surprise for her wasn't flowers or champagne. It was truth. And I'd invited it to arrive exactly when she least expected. When she came out of the shower, hair damp and wrapped in a towel, she looked radiant, glowing even. "So," she said teasingly, "what's this surprise you've been so secretive about?" I smiled, picked up her phone from the nightstand and handed it to her. "Open your messages." She froze, the color draining from her face. "What? Why?" "Because I replied to him," I said evenly. "To Daniel. From your phone." Her eyes widened, horror blooming across her features. "You what?" "I told him to meet us in the lobby in 15 minutes. I thought it was polite since you two had plans anyway." For a moment, she just stood there, breath caught between a scream and denial. Then came the silence, thick, heavy, honest. "James," she whispered, trembling. "It's not what you think." But the truth had already checked in, and it wasn't leaving without her seeing it. 15 minutes later, we stood in the dimly lit lobby. She clutched her phone like a lifeline, eyes darting between me and the elevator doors. I could hear her shallow breaths, the kind you take when panic begins to set in. Every tick of the clock made her flinch a little more. Then the elevator chimed. Daniel stepped out, still in his beach shirt, still wearing that same smug grin I'd seen at lunch. He looked at me, then at her, and froze mid-step. "Oh, I didn't know." "Clearly," I interrupted, my tone flat. My wife's lips parted, words tripping over themselves. "James, please. It was just." Just sunscreen. I cut in, my voice calm but sharp. Right. Because people touch each other like that for SPF protection. Daniel took a step back. Man, look, it wasn't. Save it, I said, holding up my hand. You don't need to explain. I've already seen enough. I turned to her. You wanted freedom, secrecy, space. Congratulations, you've got all three now. She reached for me, her voice trembling. James, wait. Please don't do this here. I met her eyes for the last time, seeing nothing but regret. Not love, not apology, just the kind of regret people feel when they finally realize the consequences are real. I'm not doing anything, I said. I'm just walking away from what's already gone. And I did. I walked right out of that lobby, past the night clerk's awkward stare, past the hum of quiet whispers. The ocean breeze hit my face, cool and clean, and for the first time in months I felt lighter. By the time she came back to the room, her things were packed neatly by the door. I'd already settled the bill and left her ticket home at the counter. I didn't shout. I didn't slam doors. I simply left, the kind of silence that says everything words can't. A week later she texted me. You didn't even fight for us. I looked at the message for a long time before replying. You were never fighting for us either. Then I blocked her number, the same way she once blocked out my doubts. Only this time, the silence wasn't hers to control. It was mine. And it was peace.